Hello, Brian.
Hi, Lilou. Great to see you.
Great to see you too and connect here on Skype. You are the author of The Big Glow, and I want to find out what this is all about. Tell us what is this glow? What is this big glow that you're describing in your book?
Well, the big glow, it really comes from being present and being in this moment and being in the now and realizing that whatever's happening in the world, whatever's happening in life is always happening right now, and there's never anything that's not happening right now. And so a lot of times we overlook the majesty, the miraculousness of life, which is really the majesty and miraculousness of this moment. And being in present and being in this moment really brings a whole awakened sense of wonder and aliveness and vibrancy and passion and inner peace to this moment and to life. So the big glow, the book is like a meditation to bring us into this moment and bring us into that space of consciousness and awareness and gratitude and appreciation for all that is as is right now.
Cool. So is it the big glow because we actually you think that we are beings of light and therefore when we're in the present moment then we glow and we shine?
It's a poetic metaphor, and people use different terminologies for it, and that's my poetic terminology for the because so often people are looking for something outward to try to fulfill them. They're trying to look for this thing or that thing, or if I get this, if I get that, then I'm going to be happy. And there's this constant outward movement where my discovery was and is that the true fulfillment is that which is always within inside us. And it's not the thing, but actually the amazing thing that you come to realize is it's not the thing, but it's the way we perceive the thing. And then even further, even more amazing is the way we perceive the thing changes the thing. And so it actually all comes down to our perception and what we could call our consciousness. And it comes down to our consciousness right now, not in the future and not in the past. And so then there's this discovery of the big glow, and the big glow is the metaphor for that which is actually inside us in the way that we're perceiving the world, and people who are very awake and conscious and present, there tends to be a little bit more of a light emanating from them,
Yeah.
and so yeah, in that sense too.
Uh-huh. So for you, it's all about the now, living in the present moment.
That's the foundation. It has to be the it has to be all about the now, because there's never any moment there's never any time that's not right now. So anything that you want to create, that you want to do, your intentions, your visions, your dreams, your goals, they all start right now. And so that's the foundation for the gateway to everything in life is right now. So realizing that it's a whole other shift, a whole other way of living and being and manifesting in this world. And I think that's one of the reasons why Eckhart Tolle, who's been an inspiration to me, the author, he
Mm-hmm.
has the term the power of now, because there's actually a great power in realizing that this is it right now and to really be here now, and that allows you to be fully engaged in a co-creative energy and spirit in everything that's happening in the world inside you and outside you and all around you.
So there is nothing much for us to do but really being here.
Yes, but there is, but it's not because some people think that it's a passive thing that I'm talking about. So it's a good question, because it's actually not. That's what I'm saying. Is it's actually very empowering and powerful. So you are a creative force by being present and being in the now. That's the only way to be a creative force. Otherwise, you're not a creative force at all. You're not a powerful force at all, because that's the only way to be engaged in this life, is to be engaged right now. And then what I'm advocating is to be open to spirit, to source, to God, whatever terminology people would like to use, and to allow your action to be aligned with God, with sports. So we are an open vessel for that energy to move through us right now. And the only way to do that is to be present right now and sort of be listening, so to speak, be listening and be open for that energy to move through us in each moment.
So is there some things or some practices that you have to remember that and be more in the present moment all the time?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question, because a lot of times, and it's fascinating because a lot of times people say, "Well, how do I get into the moment?" So in other words, they're saying, "Tell me how to get to the moment in the future." What are the steps? What are the steps to get there? It's like, well, you just missed it. Here it is, right here. So it's so fascinating because there's really no steps to get there. So it's like a process of subtraction almost. It's like being aware and vigilant of how the mind wants to get to some place in the future, but there is no place in the future. This is the step right now to get there. So the biggest thing is to have that kind of the wake up call in this moment, which is what I'm providing with the book. I had the book right here, by the way. Nice
Cool.
book cover.
Very
What I'm
cool.
providing with the book and life coaching and retreats and workshops. So it can be powerful to set the intention to engage with mentors or different communities that had this intention. And also there's always things around us, like our breath is happening right
Yeah.
now. So you can keep connecting with the breath, connecting with nature is wonderful. To see the things that are happening in the present moment, the way the sun glistens off the trees, and the light reflecting, and the sky, looking to the sky. There's so much beauty around us right now, and majesty and wonderment that we're not aware of, that we take for granted, And so just we can always tune in to what's happening right now. That's the beauty of it. Is like the practice is always available.
Mm-hmm. Are you a raw foodist?
I'm not 100% raw foodist, but I definitely I definitely understand the nutritional aspects of eating food in its natural state, and eat a lot of raw food.
Yeah, no, I'm just mentioning that as it seems like keeping our body light, and
Yeah.
vibrant is essential part of this practice too of being
Well,
present.
that's a great point because I really believe in a holistic approach, and I think that's the future now. That in the past everything was fragmented. So there was like this person was a practitioner in this person was a practitioner in this, and now it's like this understanding that if everything is one and we're all one and everything is interconnected, then everything affects everything. And so we need to be working on all levels. So that includes nutrition, that includes exercise, that includes the power of the mind, our unconscious belief systems and thought patterns, and bringing them from the unconscious to the conscious. That includes a right livelihood, professional life, having that in line with our heart and our spirit, which you're doing a great job with.
Thank you,
That
thank you.
includes our relationships, which is huge, which is easy to overlook. Our sense of community, emotional world, and then the spiritual is what I consider like the root of the tree. So that is the big questions like who am I, why am I here, what is my sense of meaning and purpose, inspiration, and like the root of the tree meaning if that's healthy and those we have an understanding of that self-realization, then the kind of flower, the energy moves up and all the branches and the leaves are healthy as well. But if we don't have that core understood, then no matter how much we're pruning the leaves and stuff, it's not going to do much good because we don't have that spiritual root there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So what's your story actually? What's your awakening story?
That's interesting because you say story because it really is just a story. Our past is a story, and it's powerful for people to realize that because when you start to realize that, because most people know that they can create their future, but not many people know they can create their past. That's powerful. We can create our past. So my story is that
What do you mean by that, first of all?
I mean that what is the past? Because if there really is only the now, which there is only the now, because can anybody, I'll ask anybody who's listening, can you try to escape the now? Can you ever, was there a moment when you weren't in the now? And I don't think anyone has ever answered yes that I'm aware of. So there only is the now. And if you realize that there really is no future or no past, then with the consciousness and awareness and creativity, we can create our future, co-create our future, and co-create our past, because our past is a story. So what story do you want to make about your past? Because you can have a story where, this happened to me, and why did this person do this to me and
Mm-hmm,
did this to me? Okay, well, that's a story, but you can make a different story if you'd like to.
mm-hmm,
And when you realize that, so for example, my story, you know, and there's lots of different stories, but the story in my biography is about how I had a very mysterious illness that was there was a lot of pain involved in it when I was around 20 years old, and I could make that into a really terrible story, you know, a story of victimization and how dreams were squashed and you know, all that. I could really go into that if I wanted to, but my story is that was the awakening. That was what started the awakening. That was a catalyst because it invited me to look much deeper and inquire much deeper into life and really ask some deeper questions about, like, those questions that we talk about: who am I, why am I here, and those things. And so yeah, it wound up being what was a painful and challenging time. Wound up being a period in time that I had great gratitude and appreciation for.
I love that. I love what you say about looking at our past and recreating our past, and even being grateful for it, or yeah, injecting some new thoughts and some new
Right.
energy into something that appeared so dark and so there and so unmodulable, you know?
Right, right. Because it seems like it's fixed. It seems like, though, the past is over, it's done, you can't
Yeah,
change it. And you don't have to change it, but you look at it differently. So the story around events becomes different.
very cool. And therefore the
Yeah.
now is different.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Very, very
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So really, you're saying we should embrace whatever's happening, whatever fear there is, or whatever thought there's coming up, and shift that, or just be present to it and accept it as it is. That's part of your message too.
That's huge. Yeah, that's a big part of the book, and definitely part of the message is embracing what is. That's right. Because and within ourselves, and so a lot of the book, you know, it brings out these kind of parts of ourselves that we may have thought of were dark or a little uncomfortable. You know, the silly parts of us, like you said, the fearful parts of us, the anxiety-filled parts of us, the sexual parts of us, the sensual parts of us, all these things that may not have been considered spiritual, are spiritual, because there's this realization that everything is spirit, everything is has the essence of God in it, and so it's only when we resist it that it becomes shadow, that it becomes dark, and all kinds of weird energies come out of it. But if we embrace all the parts of us, whatever's arising, then we integrate all the parts of us. Like, for people who are familiar with the chakra system, you know, you have the higher chakras and the lower chakras, and you integrate the higher into the lower until it's all integrated part of the flow, and one energetic flow of spirit. And so we do that with our lives. You know, it's like everything that comes to the surface, through being present, through being in the now, embracing it and accepting it, and then integrating it as spirit, as God, as part of this larger system. And that really fuels the evolution of our consciousness. All these different parts of us that are awakening to, constantly integrating and evolving and integrating, as spirit, as divine essence.
Tell me, is there something that you really would love to say right now or share that we haven't talked about and that is an important part of your message?
You know, what's coming forward for whatever reason right now is just the value of living, what I call living in alignment. You know, so having what we do as a livelihood, how we generate our income, our relationships, the way our passions our passions that we enjoy in our spare time,
Mm-hmm.
all these things to be in alignment. So so there's no duality, there's no separation, and that was a lot of my journey. You know, there was a time in my life where that wasn't the case, where I was trying to make money doing things that I didn't like at all, and then trying to do some things over here that maybe I kind of liked, but it didn't know how to, you know. And there's all these different dualities. And I know that that's a very common place that people find themselves in,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't have to be that way. You know, by setting the intention, you can come into alignment where you're manifesting in this world, really living with a deep sense of meaning and purpose and inspiration, in alignment with your heart, sharing your greatest gifts with the world, and benefiting people and being of service to people, and then really enjoying and having a great passion for what you're doing every day.
That
And
takes
learning. And,
courage.
yeah, and also learning and growing, continuing to learn and grow also is another part of it. That really brings a sense of fulfillment.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Well, very, very nice getting to know you, and I look forward to reading your book, The Big Glow.
Yes, I
Thank
look forward
you.
to your feedback.